I've been doing a few tactics runs lately, but they've all been based around Tornado, Aura of Laceration, Death Orb. I think it's about time to go do something on the more turret side of things. And Barnacle's just the one to do that with. Not only is it just in general a pretty good turret, but it also has a couple distinct advantages over other turrets. For example, this thing is active like even when it's off screen. You get a lot of distance on it. But I would say that the most important thing, the really notable thing about this weapon, completely 100% invincible. Cannot be hurt by anything, can't even be targeted by enemies. Until you, well, throw out another one and have that replace the original one. So that can make it that a few of the bigger ticket items, your bosses, your elites, everything like that, you can be far away from, and then they can't even destroy it. I mean, even though they got definitely the damage to be able to destroy just about any turret they can throw out there, they still won't be able to. Makes it quite a good turret because of that, and in fact, that is one of the reasons why it is one of the main turrets that I like to take if I'm doing a turret-based run. Go with a heavy turret, a good Barnacle, grab you like, I don't know, pyrotechnics, whatever. The usual mix-up of stuff if I'm going tactics. And you got a real stew going. You got a run that works out well. It's maybe not as useful with, for example, elites in a lot of ways due to the... there we go. Maybe not as useful when it comes to fighting against elites because you can't just go on a different Y-axis without having them teleport to you. But for the most part, I would say you can really stay out of the fray with this weapon. It's really good for that. That was close. Alright, so this weapon is dropped from the Thorny. You can find them in a couple different places, but most notably the Ossuary. Not entirely sure what makes this weapon what makes this item in particular something that he would drop. I guess the idea would be that he's a plant-based weapon, and you know, formless blob that, like I said, my favorite lore passage as of late, talking about the formless blob being a mixture of man and machine. And then that kind of is brought out by the fact that this guy drops a formless blob type of weapon. It's like literally a big bunch of goo that sticks to the ceiling. Surprisingly similar to your character's head. How about that? I don't know. So I guess it's kind of supposed to be like a big old blob of plant matter or something like that. Hard to say. But anyway, yeah, it's dropped by the Thorny. Pretty rare drop. Bring a Hunter's Grenade if you're going to go grab it. But aside from that, very useful in just about every circumstance. And one of the newer things that they have added with it is it no longer needs to actually be attached to a ceiling, formerly called the ceiling turret, actually, before it took the name Barnacle. It now floats from these little cute pink balloons, only for a short amount of time, but that's still better than nothing. Let's be honest, compared to a lot of the sort of, like, compared to not even being able to use it if it was too far up to hit the ceiling in the first place. So I can definitely appreciate that. Anyway, that comes to how do you properly use this weapon? Well, I would say that the Barnacle, just by itself, is a great item. I mean, really, I could have probably thrown this on one cell mode and then just went Barnacle only. But I don't feel like that because I don't want to do a difficult run, essentially. So anything that I'm taking with it is just going to be your standard sort of things to buff up a basic turret run. Getting synergies, fire, poison, whatever. You know, grabbing like a pyrotechnics is obviously going to be great. I would say that right now I have more of a survival-focused type of run, but Nerves of Steel is definitely going to work as well as just about any other type of ranged weapon that I could get right now. Here we go. And we're just going to do the nice sweep back and forth and let him kill himself by running off the edge there for some reason. I do think that also the Barnacle does... Ah, so close. But whatever, he killed himself. Man, I hate those guys. But anyway, the Barnacle... I do think the Barnacle does not get the full damage if it is floating in the air. It has to be attached to the ceiling to get, like, full damage. Or maybe that's just the At least that was what it was for a short amount of time. At this point, it might just be the fact that it gets automatically destroyed after a while, which is nice. Which is the sort of change that they gave for this here. Now, obviously, it doesn't give you a rally, unlike some of the other stuff that I've been using recently, so that's something to think about. But the fact that it can be used very similar to something like a Death Orb, it can go. You can be quite a way away from it. It does mean that distance is not as much of a factor, and I think that it might be a lot of just laying traps. Oh, not bad. I mean, this would essentially be just like an upgrade for. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll get rid of one of those, the other thing eventually, but for right now, just getting the extra stats, I think, is the most important thing. It's interesting because the Barnacle, you know, much like also these vines here, your character's actual head, it does seem to be sort of a, there's a sort of theme going on here with plant stuff having this sort of gooey grossness associated with it. Homunculus Rune 2, all that sort of stuff. I don't really know if it's just like algae is very common around the island here, but unlike, I would say, having... Oh, Minotaur scroll over there. Unlike, say, having bleed be a very common sort of weakness of conjunctivius, it's like I want to say this one is a lot more specific of a lore point. Like, Motion Twin wanted you to notice how similar a lot of this stuff is. Plant-based weaponry. Also, the idea that you are using a plant as a turret is pretty cool alone, so I do like that. Still have no idea why exactly the... Still have no idea why exactly the Thorny is supposed to be like a plant-based enemy, but whatever, just roll with it. That's been established in the lore pretty firmly at this point, so I guess that's a thing. Still not entirely sure, but I am interested to see if that's like expanded upon by the time the DLC comes out in any way. Oh yeah, invincibility from grabbing a scroll. Actually being super useful there. That's something you don't see too often. I mean, it's something that I always like as sort of a, that I'd liken to a, let's say, semi-technique. It's not really something you would be planning to use, but that does not make it any less valid when the time comes. And so have I. There we are. Poison heals instead of wounding you, not going to be tremendously useful right now. And I feel like this might be maybe flying a little bit close to the sun, getting into a dangerous zone, as Kenny Rogers would say. But, no, I already used you in the last run. Or 2 runs ago? Oh god, I've forgotten the timeline again. If they're just taking two tactics right now, kind of lowering my health to only 1400, but I'm going to do it anyway, because like I said, this is compared to most turrets, this is a safe turret to use. That's how I would describe it. So I can be a little bit faster and looser with my weaponry as, okay, good. As for right now, maybe a little bit later in the game, I'll stop throwing so much caution to the wind, maybe hoard my caution a little bit. Only so much of it, it's a non-renewable resource. But for right now, I think I'm totally fine. Yeah, I mean, in general, I'm kind of hoping this is going to be a nice simple run. It's not super overpowered like getting those 2 times damage Death Orb or anything is going to be, but it's just, in general, a pretty excellent weapon. I would definitely say that this is a recommended. I mean, the fact that I use it... What? Oh, Kastang! He's got a couple other, like, lore bits in, Oh. Thank you, Kastang. You are the best. Yeah, I haven't seen this lore thing. Crooked, but at the same time, who cares? Hey, what up? A stupid gag, but pretty good gag. And yeah, it's always one of those things that it's like you play a game for long enough, you become like completely, I don't know, immune to the idea. Like you don't even see. This game is super gory, I suppose is what I'm saying. It's like you are throwing sanguine sprays all over the wall, but it's like I don't even see that stuff anymore. I mean, I showed I was showing somebody one of the videos that I did recently, and they're like, wow, this game is super violent. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I guess I don't even notice that anymore. Or like, you know, like the callousness of your main character is like, I guess that guy's dead, or whatever. Oh, I forgot to grab the thing. Whatever. I'm going to get an upgrade for that in this area if I manage to find another one anyway, so that doesn't even matter. Yeah, it's sort of like how Binding of Isaac. I remember when I first saw that game, I thought it was so disgusting, so gross looking. Like the very first item that I got back in the original Flash demo version was the wire coat hanger, and like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is so gross and like everything. It's like I don't know if I can play this game. And at this point, I'm just like, oh yeah, hey, that's a tears up. It's does not even register to me anymore, and that has definitely happened with this game. Where it's like, I see the game, I recognize what's happening, but it almost like just doesn't even register to a certain point. It's just like, oh yeah, that's a zombie, you know, it'll either swipe at me if I'm close, or it will lunge itself forward to me if I'm far away. It's like just thinking that it's like, oh yeah, and it also, you know, explodes in a huge spray of gore when it dies. It's just like, oh yeah, that's also a thing that happens to you. Yep. All right, this is going to be a little bit irritating, but that's fine. There we go. Oh, well, I guess I got to take this again. It's like what is the Matrix quote? You start to see the code or something. You know what? I think that this is, well, it's not only going to be better for just having a couple extra points of tactics in general. It's also going to be better for freezing and everything like that. Already a safe weapon, now extra safe. I mean, which, of course, I'm using Nerves of Steel instead. I like Nerves of Steel a lot. It's a... That was really close. Nerves of Steel is a great item. I love using it. But I have to remember that it's like, this is not the Nerves of Steel run. I've already done that one. You are here to be looking at a very specific type of item, which I am neglecting as of right now. I think that one was about to go backwards, so if my turret didn't take care of that, I would have died. Cool. Okay. I mean, in general, the... Okay. Like, actually get the freaking thing. Okay, there. Oh, nice. Even better than the ice crossbow. Screw this, then. I don't even care. That's a lot of extra health. I think I'm actually going to take this. Take a little bit of a hit on damage, but I don't want to die in one hit. But yeah, ice crossbow, not my favorite weapon. I mean, you can go watch the ice cross... Wait, I never put that one up. Oh, yeah, I didn't really like how it went, so... check the description if you want to see the ice crossbow run, I guess. But yeah, ice bow in general going to be much, much better, so... Also, it's a legendary version. Enemies thaw more slowly, get bleeding, get thawing lasting extra long. Is it... Not the huge amount of... What am I thinking about? The huge AoE explosion. I can't believe he still got me anyway. Not the huge AoE explosion, but I can live without that. That's fine. Another thing is that grabbing these two items here will not... Oh, I guess I don't actually have fire synergy on my Barnacle. Oh, why? Why am I playing so badly right now? But, I don't have fire synergy on my Barnacle. I should get that pretty soon, though. I have no excuse right now. I just want you to... I think I'm just... It is a distracted game today, evidently. I don't really know why. Too much recording of other things, I guess. Trying to get a little bit more consistent on that. Oh, wait, there's a shop down here. I gotta go check that out. Maybe it might have... Oh, well, anyway, I'll be re-rolling the Barnacle almost immediately to try to get the fire synergy on it. That works too. And then Ice Bow should be... Ice Bow combined with whatever sort of necklace I pick up should get me to the cap if I'm not already at it. And I'm already at the damage reduction cap, so that's great. Of course, slowing enemies and everything like that always works out pretty well with turrets because you don't Because turrets are a set it and forget it sort of thing. And I mean, in this particular turret is the epitome of that. You can really set that thing down. I mean, one of the things that makes it part of my favorite sort of kit in this game is the idea that you can throw it down and then being invincible and also being a pretty long range turret, you can get you can run around. You can run pretty far past it and have it still killing enemies. So you can split your attention pretty well because it's working by itself. Let's go. Like I said, this is definitely a run to take a lot of curses. I definitely had to take the heart because that's just a standard part of the kit for 4-cell mode, and efficiency is something that just ups the potential damage of a lot of this. Too good to ignore. But otherwise, I probably would have taken acceptance if given a chance. What's down there? Well, whatever. I'll throw down a couple turrets, take care of the curse here first, and then check out. Oh, it's probably just cells. But whatever. There's a teleporter right here. Still haven't turned back on flashing lights. I gotta do that. Yeah, it is just cells. Okay, never mind that. I don't even care. Do I look like a person that even requires any cells at this point? Leave that to the proletariat? What am I don't know. Really, I'm just trying to rally you to seize the means of production and all that, so. Oh my, that could have been very bad. And yet it wasn't. One of the great things with having the... One of the great things... Okay. It's a good thing that those guys have so little health. But, what was I even saying? The stress there just knocked all the words out of my head and onto the floor. I'll have to clean those up later. Whatever, curse gone. Everything's gravy now. Don't even have to worry about it. Yeah. Those guys didn't have so little health, I wouldn't have been able to breach them, and they would have completely mobilized me, and I would not have liked that. In general, I'm not a big fan of dying. Number one thing on my most hated list, death. I guess what I'm saying is if you thought it would be like a good joke or something if you ever saw me in real life, which you couldn't because I'm merely a voice that exists on the internet. Don't, shoot me or something. I would be very irritated. Oh, no. That's the bad stuff. That's fine, though. That's fine. I do enjoy being a random voice on the internet. Yeah, that little source of anonymity. Let's you, the viewer, decide what I actually look like. Which I hope you all choose extremely handsome and muscular. I mean, really, just, if I can just get it so that every discussion about the channel is 1, video games, and 2, extremely handsome and muscular. And you know what? Let's just throw in full-on search engine optimization. Also say that I have a huge butt. That would make me very happy. Now, I mean, in reality, of course, I look like, if you ever saw me, you'd be like, yeah, you look like the guy that taught me math in high school, but we can just keep that between you and me, the person watching, the potentially thousands of people watching the video. Anyway, not too much else. Oh, crap. Oh my god, there are so many enemies here. This is a great time for the ice bow. I don't know why I'm not using it. But that's fine, that's fine. No. I was kind of thinking about it because I was thinking, oh, that could be a little extra damage, but I forgot, right, I've already gotten rid of the... Damn. Forgot that, that's right, I've already gotten rid of the, phaser. Switch that out for another Barnacle, which I'd like to say, doing a bang-up job right now. Definitely getting a lot out of this. 2 uninfected? No. And 147, I don't even want to. Now, the thing is, I'll probably find another elite if I decide to do a full... Okay, never mind, then. Oh, what else we got going on here? Don't really need that. Spreads inflammable oil's pretty nice, but not good enough. That's what I like to call the big money. Now, I do think that neither of these somehow, I couldn't really tell you. Wait, is that ineffective? Ooh, I'll have to check that first. And I don't know how neither of these got synergy. Nope. Neither of these got synergy for burning, but I can pretty easily re-roll that onto the weapon past this. That's such a common affix that there should be absolutely no problem getting it at this point. And then, oh, yes, now I remember what I was saying before. One of the nice things about the change that gives it the little balloons, that gives the Barnacle the little balloons on it, is that you are able, there, sure, good enough, that you are able to get, that this weapon is not completely useless when it comes to going up the concierge. So that will be nice, if nothing else. It won't have to be 100% me doing damage with my ice bow and my pyrotechnics. Which, by the way, I'd just like to point out right now, what a good run. I have a good run going right now. Minus that point in time when I took a whole ton of damage from that shocker. Oh yeah, he's getting pretty mad. If I could get some oil synergy going on here, that would be the ideal. But like I said, just look at what I'm getting right now. Also, extra damage too. Got that affix on there. That was a nice fight. Get out of here. You were the last run. Also, of course, the last run was the one where I also got a legendary Barnacle. So, you know, time is a flat circle and all that. Let's go. Probably will want to reroll these affixes at some point, or I might just get an upgrade for them before that even becomes an issue. We shall see. I definitely think that this is more than a good enough sort of build to get over into the Slumbering Sanctuary, so might as well go do that. Let me go see some more of Castaigne. I didn't even realize that he had multiple lore bits. I like that guy. Also, like one of the very few named characters in the entire game. One of the very few named characters in the entire game, like along with Gian, that doesn't just have an imperative "the" as well as a descriptor. Even Dead Cells Man falls prey to that. Ooh, that was really close. Well, that was closer, you know, the sense that I got hit. The ultimate closeness. I am very glad that wasn't a golem. Not that I thought that that was going to be any issue anyway, but still. Dodging Cleanser Bomb. I guess Poison's enemies probably would be better than something else. I didn't have, like... There was no get gold on either of those. Which, again, I said that I was going to be... Okay. Which I said I was going to be prioritizing a little bit more. That extra weird emphasis on that word was because that was my heart rate lowering after that rather stressful battle. What do we got in here? I don't know if I don't know if I would take a... First off, I don't know if I would take a curse just yet. Feels like that would be a bad idea. Oh, legendary spike boots. Get some poison, you'd say. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to take the spike boots, not because I think it's better. I do not... Yeah, I actually want to take this. I do not think spike boots is going to be better. Absolutely not. However, I also use pyrotechnics way too much. So I'm going to take that based on that alone. Also, poison synergy is an entirely possible thing to get. I should be able to reroll into that easily as well. Also, spike boots just in general, a pretty good weapon. I do like them a lot. Good breach potential, good damage, because the criticals are so easy to achieve. A lot of good stuff going on here. Is that infected? It is. Anything of any interest? Get gold as well as a cell? Well, I know what I'm doing. Wait, what's this? Makes enemies bleed and shots leave trail flames. And it gives me tactics. Well, goodbye, Boots. You have served me well. May your next job something... I don't know. I was going to try to say something there, but I couldn't think of anything. So I just said nonsense. That's the story of my life. Well, that's the story of this channel, at least. Infantry bow. It is also essentially a melee-type weapon, and with the fire, that's a little bit more immediate type of synergy that I like to get compared to the potential synergy in the future with the poison that I was getting off of the boots. So I gave that boot the boot, and now we're on to this. Just the most precious episode today, isn't it? Okay, let's just get on with this here. There are more than a few cursed chests that are calling my name. I mean, I'd like to say infantry bow not as good, but probably not as good. I could probably, in all likelihood, I could get a little bit more DPS from using the spiked boots, but it works a little bit better in the style of run I'm going for right now. And I think that's a really important bit. All right, 5 should be easy. Especially with, well, I'm not going to take this one, but that would have been an interesting sort of get earlier. But yeah, I got Ice Bow, I got Barnacles, I got a nice long-ranged... I wouldn't suggest using it long-ranged, but if necessary, long-range weapon. There we are. There we be. Don't know who they see. Let's go. Oh, good, and a little bit more cursing action here. The extremely unsuccessful sequel to Elevator Action. Which, as far as I know, never actually got a sequel, but I just love the name Elevator Action so much that I bring that up on occasion. I think I'm just going to avoid angering that golem down there, because that just feels like a bad idea in general. And see what else we got going on here. I'm sure there's enough like kamikaze bats and all and other junk, other assorted junks that I could pretty easily get rid of this curse. Well, pretty quickly get rid of this curse. Maybe not easily. This is why I got the thing. This sucks. Okay. Good. I was really thinking that I was going to die from that bombardier. Thankfully, not the case. Like, that was as close as it was ever going to get. Perfect. Cool. The best. Now, here's the thing. This is the time to use it. I was getting a little bit up on malaise, and there should be, at some point in time here, a food shop. A food shop coming up, so as soon as I find that it's going to be all gravy, don't even worry about it. What do we got? 200. Okay, I lose out on a tactics, but maybe get the promise of more tactics in the future. That's fine. Whatever. I'll make it work. Now, I would really like to find that food shop that I was talking up here. Nope. Nope. Just gonna nip that one right in the bud. And get on with this here. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Ice Bow, 100% worthwhile when it comes coming into the Sanctuary, due to the mere existence of get out of here. Oh, the invincibility bubble. There we are. Yeah, the golems. I need to get rid of the golems is what I'm saying. There we are. Ooh, close. Where's the food shop? I didn't like accidentally walk by it and not see it or something. Maybe it's near the lore room down on the bottom. That's really the only guess I got at this point. I'll grab the money. With 186,000, that was close. With 186,000, I think I'll be fine. But here we are, finally. But I could afford a... Cool. And it seems like the golem has somehow not noticed me. So, also very cool. There, finally. And that should leave me being pretty good, sitting pretty for at least a time. I don't even know what I would possibly want right now. This wouldn't be too bad, but don't really need it. Sepulcher is more than good enough. Really, I would say that you could probably easily go into the clock tower with these barnacles. Being more vertically oriented and all that, you would be able to. Ooh. I can upgrade either of these. That works. Flammable oil would be great if I was still working with the... I was still working with let's disengage it, yeah. I was still working with pyrotechnics. That would actually be a super ideal sort of circumstance, but here it's just good. Buffs up the fire that I'm getting off of the bow, so that's great too. Yeah, I do like a good infantry bow, but I want to say that it is outclassed by a lot of other items, you know, for a couple different reasons. And really, thinking about the weaknesses of this weapon right now, it might have actually been worth taking the ammo increaser, getting a little bit of extra ammo on top of what I'm working with right now. Alas, it was not the case. Probably not going to be risking curses here again, especially after I so very closely came mere inches away from perishing in the last area due to a bombardier hit. That was also very close. And really, I think that with the amount of tactics that I'm working with right now, I do not really need to min-max the amount of stats I'm getting. In general, that just leads to enemies later on being a little bit too tough for me to handle anyway. I'm not about fighting tough enemies. I'm about having all my enemies be nice and tender. That was some kind of like steak joke, and it didn't make any sense at all. Let's continue. Yeah, no surprise. Brutality has really been lagging behind, I would say, for the entire run right now. At one point, I think in the last area, I had, what, 2 points of brutality? There we are. And there we be. A lot of DMX referencing in this video. I suppose with some of the stuff going on here, probably could have just... Wait a second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, with some of the stuff going on here, probably could have just taken a curse anyway, considering the amount of bats I'm getting. Those guys, if you can deal with them, they are very good at clearing curses. If you can't deal with them, if you're, say, using a particularly slow weapon, that's extremely bad if you're cursed. let's just call it as it is. No, I don't have any sort of causes poison, which there's a number of issues that may be occurring as of right now. But thankfully, a couple well-placed turrets made that a complete non-issue. Let's continue. All right. I think I can really just book it out of here. I got 26 tactics. I got a pretty good build, all things considered. Really, the number one thing to get right now would probably be just a bunch more money. Get my other... Didn't even get that guy from... Wow. Just, Again, I would just like to say that the game likes me. I can't like say, hey, dude, keep the good luck down, so I don't look. So you know, I don't look like I'm cheating when I'm making the video. It just kind of happens like that sometimes. 2 ice bows and just a straight upgrade. That's not really the sort of upgrade that I would have expected to get. I mean, maybe like a legendary Barnacle, but had that happen last run. Yeah, now I'm getting greedy. But Hey, that's how it happens sometimes, apparently. What is the game going to say? No? The game going to say, well, it looks like your luck has run out now. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Let's just get on with this. Now, one of the issues with the turret being completely invincible is that it is the case that I can't use the turret to block shuriken hits from the Timekeeper, which is usually a pretty good strategy. She's countered pretty hard by having like a large portion of her projectiles being able to be blocked by those. Not the case here. So it might be a little bit more difficult. In all likelihood, it's going to be such a quick kill alone that that's not even going to be a factor. You know, and we'll see. We'll see. I have no idea exactly how it's going to go. You never know. Sometimes you think you got a good run, and usually if you have super high DPS, and this is the sort of run that I would say definitely qualifies as that, you just assume that, nah, not worth it. Not with the fire synergy and everything I'm getting right now. Yeah, usually if you have a good run, you're thinking, especially a high damage run, you're thinking that it's going to be easy, so I think it's probably not going to be too bad at all. We'll see, though. Spiked boots. You had your chance, but you're done. Don't accidentally... Okay. I'm always worried that I'm accidentally going to get on the other side of that, and right into the spikes. It's happened before. It happened like once, but I'm still paranoid. That's all it takes, baby. Okay, let's go. Ring-a-ding-ding. Well, that's... And then I was going to... well, first off, sounds great. Not too bad at all on either of those. But then also going to switch out... Well, not that, but let's get disengagement. Let's get ammo. And also efficiency. I was thinking a little bit of extra health, getting dead inside, but with the build that I'm working with right now, I think that this will be totally fine. And I do think that, unlike the concierge fight, the barnacles will actually... No, they don't. I thought they hit up the ceiling on this fight. I was mistaken. Yeah, super high DPS, very good. Still hit me anyway, though. That's fine. Barnacles doing a lot of good work. I can only hope that interesting. I can only hope that will continue into the hand fight. And I want to say, yeah, why not? Because, you know, they don't need a ceiling to latch onto anymore, but... we'll see. Never want to be too sure. I mean, I've had a whole bit about that before, where it's like, with this sort of game, things can go bad so quickly that you never want to be too overconfident in your ability to do stuff, even when you have the most ridiculous overpowered runs. The power curve is not nearly as much of a curve as it is with other games of this type, after all. There we are. This is fine. I'll take a drag on the potion. Much like with every single tactics run you're gonna do, it's always more about making sure that your health is high rather than making sure that your malaise is low. There we are. That's good. That's good. That bodes well for me. Let's just say that. Yeah, so even if I'm not waiting until I get 5 full points of malaise before using my potion charge. Not necessary. Yep. Like I said, safe. A lot of extra damage there. Really lose out on a lot of health, though. Ugh. Questionable plays all over the place, but hey. If you kill an enemy before it attacks, that technically counts as, you know, crowd control. Anything of interest? 225. There is absolutely no way I would be able to upgrade that before I got into the hand fight. I do not think that I could. That'd be like 250, 300,000 or so that I would need to. Oh no, this is also bad. But yeah, I was thinking that I was just about to roll into the Guardian Knight doing a spinning move, which would be death. It would kill me, absolutely. Let's just say that right now. I can say that with absolute certainty. What do we got? I went the completely wrong direction. That's what we got. That's fine. I didn't really realize it too much going into this run, but boy, there really are no very limited ceiling access in just about any of the bosses or mini-bosses in the entire game. How about that? I mean, it only really matters for this weapon in particular, but I don't know, it's still kind of a weird thing. Let's go. Should have used the ice bow. Should have used the ice bow. Saved me a lot of damage, would save me a lot of malaise. I guess the exit is going to be down here then. I really don't think it's worth going for all 3 keys right now, especially after I've now used 2 potion charges in here, but make no mistake, I definitely could do it. I mean, Ice Bow and I have more than enough damage right now. Like, the Barnacles would be doing a really good job, Ice Bow and Infantry Bow would be doing a really good job. I don't necessarily need the fire synergy for it to be a very quick fight. Also, very good, too. Getting to the end right now is also very good, because that means I don't even have to worry about grappling with that tough decision. Didn't even see the entrance to it, and I think that now's about time to finish up the run regardless. I feel pretty good about my chances. We'll see. It would not take many hits for me to die in this fight, which is an important thing to remember. Hey, 616 cells, the number of the beast. If only I could remember more of that song. I have to freaking duck just to get the fire on the ground. That's cool. Make sure I get rid of the riffraff first, and now. That's fine. I would much rather have him using that move than anything else. And that move. Oh yeah, this is a great fight already. Will you die already? He's going to do his big move. I just know it. Oh, there it is. One hit on that fight. I almost had it perfect. Anyway, yeah, Barnacle's fantastic. There you go. As if there was any question.